Well, happy Easter. I look out and I see a handful of families in special Easter dress. I'm wearing my Easter duds today. I know my family is as well. This is the weekend, that's what we celebrate. We see banners all over the places and churches and on websites celebrating and acknowledging Easter weekend. You wear Easter clothes. Some of you might do Easter egg hunts and maybe have celebrations about Easter bunnies, and you'll have Easter baskets and Easter brunch, Easter lilies, all sorts of Easter traditions. Let me ask you this question, though. Is the word Easter even in the Bible? Well, kind of. Let me try to explain. The word Easter almost certainly goes back to the early Middle Ages in Europe. It's almost certain that word was originally the name of a pagan goddess. The people in the European nations at that time had the pagan goddess that they would celebrate around the beginning of the springtime. And so her name, as they would call her, was Eastra. And that month in which they particularly celebrated Eastra was called Eastramund, for the month of Eastra. That's the month right now that we look at as April. It's the first full month of spring in a given year. Well, as Christianity began to spread throughout Europe, and then the significance of the celebration of Christ's resurrection went with it, Christ's resurrection became the dominant celebration of every springtime. And so much in the same way that when we look at and think about December, culturally, we think of Christmas. That's Christmas time, not just Christmas. It's Christmas time. As Christianity spread in Europe, the people there began thinking of the resurrection when they thought of Eastra that particular month. And so the Christian use of that word pushed out the pagan use of that word, and so to speak, it switched allegiances. People who once used to worship a pagan goddess with that name now use that name to remember the resurrection of Christ in a particular holiday that they would celebrate. In fact, this became so dominant. The Christian assertion that this word is now ours was so dominant that by the time the King James Version of the Bible was written and translated in 1611, when the translators got to the word for Passover in Acts 12, they changed it to Easter, because the English-speaking world at that time knew that as that Christian holiday. And once and for all, that word became ours.